Welcome to the Wrexham Coffee Matchup. I'm Dave.
And I'm Courtney. Each week, we'll take a few minutes to catch up on the latest news from Wrexham. From matchups to transfers, on and off the pitch, we'll share our takes on it all.
So grab a coffee and join us.
Hey Dave, welcome back.
Welcome. How are you doing this week?
Yeah, I'm good. This has been, I don't know, it was a really interesting last week, I'd say.
It was, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that. But before we do, did you realize that we're just a hair over 3 weeks away until our trip to Wrexham?
I did, and did you realize that we've not had any team news in the last week?
I
I
know,
feel like
it's
I'm
like
on pins and needles in a little bit.
with one more week of the transfer window, I believe it closes on Monday, February 2nd.
Okay.
So we thought we think we'll be hearing stuff this week. Definitely, there's the two pending things in terms of outgoings.
Yeah.
Is will Elliot Lee be leaving for another team, either on loan or as a transfer? And will Paul Mullen get loaned out to another team since he returned back to Wrexham from Wigan?
Mm-hmm.
But then the question of, are we bringing in anybody else? And I see little rumors here and there, but nothing seems to be solid, and it's not worth
Mm-hmm.
really talking about them.
No.
But once we hear the news and we can digest and kind of figure out what that means for the team. But I think it does reflect one thing, is that I think I mentioned this last week, is Parky did say in an interview that he is really focused on the team he has now. And
Mm-hmm.
we've talked about the depth of that team and sort of we're seeing as the team gets rotated in and out. So we have a really good, strong team that has us in good position. It's just, are they going to strengthen it even
Mm-hmm.
further? I think that's the question that
Yeah.
we'll be answering. So,
And I think we had such a busy fall transfer window, summer,
yes.
fall. It was really intense.
Right.
That I think now it's balanced. You know, it feels very, very quiet, but kind of overall balanced. It balances out the fact that it was so busy.
Right.
Um, I No, I'm not going to say this because I don't want to jinx anything. And so yeah, we'll leave it at that. I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's about kind of maximizing the squad that we have, because we have a lot of really excellent players. We're really figuring out how they fit in with each other and where and when they should come into the match.
Right. Right. So in terms of our trip in a couple of weeks,
Mhm.
as you know, you and I are planning to go to the Ipswich Town League match, not the FA Cup match, and then I'll be staying in Wrexham for the Portsmouth match the following Tuesday, and then heading down to London before coming home and seeing the Charlton match. So I get to see 3 matches, as I did last year as well. It's very exciting. So today, Monday, the 26th of January, the Charlton tickets are on sale. They're still available. So I'm all squared away for the London match, which is great. And we entered the lottery for Ipswich Town,
Mhm.
and we'll hear the results on Wednesday. So on
2
Wednesday,
days.
we'll know if we have our tickets, where we'll be sitting. And if not, then
Mhm.
get ready to start checking the resale market as we get
Daily.
into the days up to the match. And then on Friday, I'll hear about the Portsmouth tickets.
Okay.
So eager week. There's news and news that we'll be waiting for this week
Exactly.
of different kinds. So
A
before
lot to
we
look forward to.
launch into talking about the individual matches, I just
Mhm.
kind of wanted to frame a question popped into my mind, and I wanted to
Okay.
frame it, and it could be a way for us to discuss sort of both matches in conjunction. I guess I should say up front that we had a 1-1 draw against Leicester City on Tuesday, and then we followed up with a 3-2 victory against QPR on Saturday.
Mhm.
So to get that out of the way, because I realized in a couple previous episodes we forgot to mention the scores as we got carried away with our
Oops.
conversation. But so looking back on the week, I saw that we watched 2 very types of matches, right? Leicester City, we came in, we took an early lead, we played incredibly well from beginning to end, but we really had to hold on to the lead. And at the last minute, they were able to get a goal in, and so we lost the lead in like 89. It was at 89:59 on the clock or something like that. But then we came back on Saturday with a little bit of changes in the lineup, but we just started from behind right from the beginning.
Yeah.
First half was pretty atrocious, and then we had to claw our way back. And so, seeing these two different types of matches, and we talked about how we change our strategy against different teams, and when do we freshen up our attack. My question is, how much of the way we perform while we're in the match is down to the starting lineup, and how much comes down to the subs that are brought in, and when the subs are made? So it's kind of a
Mhm.
big question. I just wanted to know what you thought about that concept.
Hmm. Oh, man, that's tough. I mean, of course, all of those factors contribute, right? And the sort of strategy that you want, do you want to start off strong out of the gate? Do you want to have the plan that you are finishing strong? Obviously, ideally, you would be strong all throughout, but that's fine. Um, Obviously, it's going to depend on your opponent and it's going to depend on the situation that they are in. What's their squad like that day, which is going to be reflective of injuries. Even things like weather is going to play a chance, right? We've had some really windy,
Oh,
brutally cold,
during that
rainy
Leicester match,
matches,
some of those balls just went flying up out of nowhere. It was crazy to watch. Yeah.
right? And so when it's on your home turf, you kind of have, even if you can't predict it, right? You know what to expect. You have that experience of being there. But there are so many factors that come into play. Um, Both types of matches that we experienced were very harrowing to watch,
Yes.
right? The Leicester City match was good. It felt like we were even paced, and then at the very end, it's like your heart drops into your stomach.
Right.
And
So
then
so let's talk about.
QPR, oh yeah,
Actually, do you want to talk about that for a second? Because
yeah,
I think you said it to me well on the day of the match, is where you felt like we outplayed them, but we
I
didn't
did.
outscore them, right?
Yeah.
And we were going well, and O'Brien had that beautiful goal early on in the second half that sort of we thought had sealed the deal for that match. And from that point, only two substitutions were made at the 74th minute, and we didn't get our typical 60-minute substitution. We didn't get a striker substitution. So really, it was a midfield shift up at the 74th minute. And was that enough to keep the momentum to hold on to it, or should we have gone on the attack at that point to try to get a second goal and to try to just put it away?
I mean, but I do feel like we had been playing very well, right? I mean, did you see it as, of course, it's you look back and you analyze and you think, what could we have done differently? But I don't know. And now maybe I'm just struggling to remember, but did we look like we were slowing down? Because
I think
I do think that, yeah, we definitely outplayed them. Just it's one of these times where the score doesn't reflect the
right,
match, right?
and maybe the thought process, which we don't know what the thought process was, but maybe the thought process is more of you're seeing this match, you're watching it in the moment, and you're also looking to Saturday, right? Just
Mhm,
4 days away. And so, do
mhm.
you put in someone that might jeopardize what your plans are for the next match, or
Exactly,
do
yeah.
you work with what you have? So, I could see that side. I just felt that a little over 30 minutes is quite a long time to keep holding on. And with the weather conditions the way it was, the wind the way it
Yeah.
was, you did see people kind of slowing down towards the end. And maybe you just like, was there enough fresh energy in?
Mhm.
If we had just got some more in, now again, I don't think either one of us is unhappy with the result. Like, we both agree, we played very well, we got a draw, we got a point. The table's looking good for us right now, and we still have a lot of matches to go. So maybe that was the right way to go, and then shift the attention to the QPR match. Could be, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I think there really is something to be said about how did we play as a whole, right? And we did
Mhm.
play very well, unlike the first
Like,
bit of
yes,
the QPR match. Maybe that's a nice segue to
sure,
the
go
next
for it, go for
match.
it. Yes,
Oh man, what a rough start.
it
You
was,
know,
it
we
was.
had such a brilliant end of the year and first little bit of January. We were riding on such a high and it just sort of felt like, oh dear. You know, we had a draw and then the first however many minutes of that match on Saturday, that was harrowing to watch.
It was harrowing. And like, I think you asked me at one point, has anyone played well in this first half?
Yeah.
And like you'd mentioned before, like on
I think
Tuesday,
I
we
might have
played.
asked you at like minute 70 or 80 if
Right.
anybody had impressed you.
Right. But like you said, on Tuesday at Leicester City, the whole team was playing as a whole, and it
Yeah.
looked like a cohesive unit. On Saturday, it did not look like a cohesive unit. It looked like we couldn't figure out how to get a handle of QPR, right? And it was an unusual environment. It was a super tight environment. I think I had like taken polls on social media as like, when's the first player going to be thrown into the crowd, because it was that close of a line. So it
Mhm.
had to have been an interesting environment to be in, but it
Sure.
took until Callum Doyle scored that goal early in the second half to really shift the energy. And that's from
Mhm.
that point is kind of when we took control of dominating QPR and really made a difference in the match from that point. But
Yeah.
and it's like, I mean, like we talked about the first half being just a mess. I mean, I can't even count how many corner kicks QPR had in
But
the
it
first
even
half.
it felt like also just like balls giving away, right? It didn't feel yes, there was an element of trying to figure them out, but it almost felt a little bit like we were trying to figure ourselves out
Right,
as
right,
well, which
right,
felt very frustrating
right.
in, mid-January.
Right. So, but we
And
did.
we
So,
didn't have 13 transfers that, have been announced in this transfer window.
right, right. But Callum Doyle made his first goal for Wrexham, and it was a beautiful
Yes,
goal. Uh,
absolutely.
and then we had two waves of substitutions. So Rathbone and Dobson, who always bring renewed energy when they
Mhm.
come in, they came onto the field at the 74th minute, and then Windass and Smith came on, not replacing Moore, but to complement Moore at
Mhm.
the 84th minute. And those combinations combined, those substitutions combined, just brought this wave of determination to the team. Like,
Mhm.
you saw the
It
team,
did.
like I counted and I checked back to make sure this was right. Windass took 5 shots on goal in the 10 minutes that he was on the field.
And
Luke,
remind me, I
yeah,
believe we had 0 shots in the entire first half.
correct, correct. So I believe Doyle's shot in the early second half was our first shot on goal.
Yeah.
And so Windass came in, having not played the previous match, with just a fire and determination. It's like, we are not going to lose this match, right? And he
But it
shot and he shot and he shot and he made that
and
wonderful goal.
they weren't going in, right? So it was like
Right?
you have shot and shot and shot. And then I remember I had written to you, I think it was at minute 91 or 92. And I
Yeah.
had just kind of resigned myself to the fact that we were going to lose. And like no sooner had I pushed enter than wham
Boom. Yes, that
into the
from the
back of the
corner
net.
kick to the Windass in the back of the net. And he was just like, the look on his face was like, okay, let's just keep going.
Yeah,
What
he was like, all right, moving on. We still
moving
have a
on.
game that we
We
need to
still have
play.
game go. And followed up less than 2 minutes later by Rathbone just making one of the most impossible
It should
shots.
not have gone in.
Should not have gone in, but it did. And I mean, I think at the end of the match, Parky said that Rathbone probably, and he didn't confirm this, he must have the highest goal average per minutes played in the championship this season,
He has
because
to.
that was his 4th goal of the season in, I believe, 6 matches, and having not played a single full match to this
Hmm.
point yet, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. So if I said that like Windass came in saying we're not going to lose, then Ollie came back and said, no, we are going to win this match. It's like, that
Yeah.
was the determination that he made. And one of our dear social media friends sent me a message afterwards. He said, stick that in your Ollie watch.
Yeah.
Which is like
Incredible. I mean,
incredible. Yeah.
you can't write this stuff, right?
You can't. Absolutely not. Yeah. So where does that put us after this volatile, exciting week?
From my understanding, that puts
Yes.
us the highest we have been in 50 years.
That is amazing. So yeah, so we ended the week now. So this is week 29. We still have 17 more matches to go, so we still have quite a ways to go. But we are currently 6th, which puts us in the playoff zone.
Yeah.
Which is an incredible place to be. Like everyone's happy with mid to lower mid table, and we just keep fighting and pushing. And I still feel like we have a lot more to give. It's interesting because we talked about this a couple times. We've played teams lower than us on the table. We've had hiccups with some of the lower teams. Over the next 5 or 6 weeks, we're playing almost every team that is above us in the table or right
Mm-hmm.
around us in the table. So
Yeah.
every match is going to be a fight from this point
Mm-hmm.
forward. And I think everyone's going to be trying to grasp as many points as they can as we get into
Absolutely.
April.
To try and put a little bit of distance, right? I mean, there are so many teams that are just mashed up right there within 5-6 points of each other.
Right.
Now is the time to really, try as much as you can to build that distance between you and the team below.
Right. And it is still really tight in that range of the field, sort of in that 5 or 6 to 10 range. It could go any way over the next couple of weeks. So we just got to
Mm-hmm.
put our heads down and just keep playing amazing football and keep playing like a unified team, like we saw
Yeah.
in that Leicester City match, or in the second half of the QPR match, which I think we really figured them out. And once we figured them out, it was like, okay, just attack, go.
Mm-hmm.
And yes. So what do we
Absolutely.
have coming up next for us?
So next I feel like we're in a little bit of a quiet period now, right? We had so many matches, like November, December, January, Tuesday and Friday and Wednesday and Saturday and Tuesday again. And we've got one a week now.
For a month.
Yeah.
So it's just 1 week. It means we can focus. We can focus
Yeah,
on each team.
Yeah. So on Saturday, we go to Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay. So Sheffield Wednesday is still let's just say that they are definitely going to be relegated to League One at the end of this season because of their points deductions. Even 29 matches in, they're still in negative points.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe when I looked at the table, they've only won one match all season. So that doesn't mean we shouldn't take the match seriously.
Absolutely
it just
not.
means that we should go in there and not be the second victory that they have this season, and just make sure we drew them earlier in the season. It was 2-2 when we played them in August, but it was way back at the beginning of the season. And so I think we just need to go in there, play the best we can, and then move ahead and look to the next matches the week after.
Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for joining us this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
You can also email us at wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. All one word, that's wxmcoffeematchup@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at wxmcoffeematchup.
From the cop to your coffee cup, that's all for today's Wrexham Coffee Matchup. Keep it brewing, keep it red, and as always, up the town.